Monica, thanks for talking to us.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So why is this story so interesting to you? I mean, should it matter that some movie executive is having sex on tape? Why is it our business?
I think it's the world's business at this stage because, I used to work in the porn industry. I was an active performer for about 2 years. And I could hear a little bit of what you were saying before you brought me on, and you were talking about the hypocrisy. And really, I personally believe that prostitution should be legalized within the United States, but the fact is that it's not. And I think that a lot of these porn agents, who in actuality are pimps, are utilizing legal loopholes in order to get around the prostitution laws. And I don't think that should be allowed. I think it should be illegal because in most countries, pimping is illegal when prostitution is legal. And right now, too many young women are getting hurt, in my opinion, with this legal loophole that these agents and what I call pimps are utilizing, like the agent that's the center of this particular Nanula story, and his name is Mark Spiegler. Officially, he's a porn agent, but in my view, he's a pimp. And I don't think that should be allowed. Yeah,
I can't tell for sure if this is Nanula in these still shots that I'm seeing, and he's not confirming or denying it at the moment. But it does seem like whoever this Mr. Rich was, this guy who was making the tape, self-made tape, that the camera was set up maybe for his own gratification later, but mostly as a way to tell someone, yeah, this is a movie. This is not just sex for money. It seemed like everybody was sort of playing the loophole very deliberately.
Absolutely, because, that's how a lot of very wealthy people are being able to be with porn stars who claim not to be prostitutes, but, for enough money, they are willing to essentially be prostitutes. So, but as far as this being Nanula or not, I mean, in my initial post that I wrote about this when the story broke, which was actually... I'm looking at it right now. I'm not sure when it was reposted on the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, but what I find funny is that now there's a resurgence in the story because I believe it was last month that people started talking about this. But as for whether it's Nanula or not, I've never understood why he hasn't come forward because someone, it was an attorney that contacted me asking me to take the photos that were posted on the Dirty off my blog, and I was like, I'll take them down if there's a statement from this Richard Nanula person saying that it's not him, because essentially all he would have to do is put out a press release or, make a YouTube video, saying, hey, that's not me, someone's trying to slander my name or, whatever it is. But he's not done that. I don't think he's said a word since this has broken, and neither has the girl who's featured in these alleged photos of him, this girl, Samantha Saint. And she's a pretty big-time porn star. She's a Wicked Contract girl. And I don't think, she did make a statement on AVN, but it's just, the whole situation is just so out of, left field. There were allegations from this Nanula guy's wife saying that she found like over $10,000 of receipts to prostitutes, which is, I think it's on public record. It was a part of their divorce or something. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. I mean, what's your opinion on it? I mean,
I was attracted to the story today because of MIley Cyrus last night, and I'm just thinking about these Disney stars and, how come we don't help them manage the transition from child star into adulthood, whether it's going to be in show business or out of show business. And then I looked at this, thought, well, if this is the kind of leadership they had at Disney, how can we expect that they're going to take care of the children under them? It just, there's so much perversion in Hollywood, and this just exemplified it for me. That's why I thought the timing of it was really kind of interesting.
Well, I mean, Nanula was a Disney CFO.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that our society is becoming increasingly hypersexualized. For a while, I was thinking, I'm a part of the porn industry, so, maybe this is just something that's, just in the forefront of my mind. But no, it's just, soon you're not really going to have a porn industry. It's all just going to be entertainment. That seems to be where it's going, and I think that music is the transitional medium for that to happen.
Well, the MTV Awards looked a lot like pornography to me last night. Thank you, Monica. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Monica Foster, owner, reporter with PornNewsToday.com. Everybody's focused on MIley Cyrus today, and what kind of role model has she become? This former Disney star, and now look how she takes her fame and uses it, misuses it. And we were talking this morning about this and thought, nobody sits back and blames the executives. MIley Cyrus is 20 years old. I get it that she's a grown-up and she can make her own decisions, but where are the adults in her life? Where are the people with experience and maturity in her life who step up and say, yeah, MIley, this is not a good idea? I mean, you hope there's somebody out there. Maybe it's not her dad. Maybe it wasn't the producer of the MTV Awards last night, but shouldn't it have been? Shouldn't have maybe the executive producer of the award show said, MIley, this will certainly get a lot of people talking, and that's good for business, but are you sure you want to do this? Robin Thicke, the guy is a father, 36 years old. Could he not have said to her, yeah, MIley, do you think this is really the right thing for us to do? That, for me, is why, a woman called in on the show and called MIley Cyrus names. And I said, I kind of feel sorry for her because she is only 20. And she does have to be responsible for her actions. But where are the leaders who are there to say, no, let's not do this? KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. I'm Bill Carroll. And I wonder about, the leadership at Disney as well. When these young stars are growing up, are they not responsible for, do they provide them proper counseling, emotional counseling, psychological counseling? Do they help these kids deal with the fame that's thrust upon them? I mean, if you just look at child stars and what usually happens to them, how many of them make the transition from child star to either adult star or child star to normal, healthy life? Quite a few, probably, but a lot of them don't. So you do wonder about the leadership, or at least I've been wondering about the leadership. And then I came across the story of this guy who was one of the shining examples at Disney. I don't know about you, but, I see the Disney brand on something that used to say to me, we care about your family. This is family entertainment. And everything associated with us is family rated. And you don't have to worry about it. And as their stars grow up and behave badly, maybe that's beyond their control. But did they help them once they left? It's almost like you should have rehab for every Disney star on the way out the door. It should be automatic. Before you even get signed and get the role, we're going to turn you into Hannah Montana, and you're going to become famous. We hope the show's successful and you become famous and rich beyond your wildest dreams. Here's the deal, though. When the show is over, you will be required to take this rehab program, like we should do with everybody who leaves the military, right? Every single person should get psychological treatment, as much as they need to integrate. Deprogramming. Everyone should be deprogrammed on the way out the door. But then I read about this guy, Richard Nanula. I think that's how you say his name. This guy he just vanished from the movie scene suddenly. But this guy had big jobs at companies like Miramax and Disney. In fact, this guy, I think it was 6 years out of school. He got his MBA for 6 years. He became the chief financial officer at Disney. And everyone assumed that was just the beginning for him. This guy was going all the way to the top. And then you see what's happened to him and you think, well, maybe Disney's still just Hollywood. Maybe in the end it's not a different standard. Maybe it's not about families, about morality. Maybe in the end it really is just about taking money out of my pockets. You got my little girl wearing 10 different princess outfits. Maybe you really don't give a damn about her at all. And I think, how do you think Walt Disney would react to this? What would Walt Disney have said if he was alive today to watch the former Disney star MIley Cyrus up on stage? I read a great column this morning about this, and it was done as an obituary for Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana died last night on stage at the MTV Video Awards show. She died of neglect, is what it said. It was very clever. She died of many things, embarrassment and shock. And who killed her? MIley Cyrus killed Hannah Montana last night on stage in front of millions. But I like that they said she died of neglect, because That's what I've been thinking too. Like, nobody helps these young men and women deal with stardom. It looks good, doesn't it, from the outside? But it never goes well. Even adults who become stars later in life, it's not many egos are suited to handle that much attention and stay real, keep it real somehow. But with kids, don't we have a very special responsibility to them to be their moral compasses? Well, could this guy be their moral compass, this former Disney executive, this guy that everyone thought was going to be one day the top guy to save the company? It starts with a story about an adult film actress named Sarah Siobhan. She was driving up Pacific Coast Highway one night last spring. She was being paid to do a private job. Her talent agent had booked her to go to this home, this beautiful gated Malibu estate. And she was dressed exactly as instructed, in a plaid schoolgirl skirt, white blouse knotted up, her belly is showing, and she was going to do one simple scene on camera for $300. She parked her car in front of this 5-bedroom Mediterranean villa, and she walked in, and she met her co-star, a well-dressed man who asked to be called Mr. Rich. Are you okay in there, Todd, hearing this? This might be adult content for you, but she's 29 years old. She believes Mr. Rich was Richard Nanula, who was chairman of Miramax Film Company until last month and a principal at a private equity firm called Colony Capital, and a one-time very senior Disney executive. He's 53 years old. He resigned from all of those positions on the 7th of July because 2 websites published video images of a man who looks a hell of a lot like him having sex with another adult film actress named Samantha Saint. He's not commenting on this publicly. He's not denying it. He's not confirming it. And he's not commenting to the media. But the pictures are there for everybody to see. And you can check them out on our webpage as well. We have some links to them. That we've got the little circles and stars are over all the inappropriate parts of the body. But after watching MIley Cyrus last night, I don't know what else is left. But yeah, this guy, they said, would probably be, he was so brilliant, he would replace the chief executive, Michael Eisner, who once called this guy brilliant, strategic, and financial executive. And he had to be impressive. 6 years out of school with an MBA and your CFO at Disney. An incredible thing, but a remarkable fall, too. And these are the people who are the leaders in the film industry. I mean, is it any wonder? But I love how people have their set their moral compass. This woman who's making the allegations that that's who she had sex with for $300, she said that 2 years earlier, she and a fellow actress named Trinity St. Clair were asked to perform in private with a man at a home in Malibu. Would be oral sex, and they'd get a $1,500 fee. She said, well, that's prostitution. I'm not a prostitute. And she declined. But then she gets a call about a job, same address, same woman, oral sex at the home in Malibu. But this time, it would be for a movie. So, fine. Oh, well, if it's in a movie, somehow it's not immoral anymore. You gotta love that. The way, I guess people will find a way to justify any action, right? If we have to split a couple of pubic hairs to do it, then that's what we'll do. But we will find a way to morally justify this. So the acting job with Mr. Rich, so you can bet that whoever this Mr. Rich was, he knew that if it was a film job for $300, and she said the guy operated the camera himself, so he's in the room alone, he's got a camera. You're just a prostitute pretending that it's a movie because somebody's got a camera. And he operated the camera himself, and she admitted it was total amateur hour. The guy had no idea what he was doing. But she performed the act and took her $300 with Mr. Rich. That's who's in charge at some of these big movie companies. You think they can look after your children? I mean, if there was ever a reason not to let your kids get into the movie business, is it not? Last night, MIley Cyrus, and then a story about an executive like this. Do you think this guy ever, I mean, he's got adult film stars coming to his house for $350. He was married to a beautiful, apparently smart woman. They're divorced now. And the guy seemed to have it all. Is it that Hollywood attracts perverts, or does it turn them into it? Does the power turn them into that? I don't know which case it is. Whether it's I know it's a chicken and egg argument. I have no idea. But too often you hear these powerful guys in Hollywood, and they have these remarkable downfalls with drugs and sex. So you can't expect them. You can't. If this is an example of the executives at Disney, you cannot expect that they're going to take MIley Cyrus at 14 and help her deal with everything she's got to deal with to one day walk away from Disney, because I can't think of anything tougher than being that famous at that age, and then one day you wake up and you're out the door. You're too old, and you got to find a way to either continue that success on your own or go back to a normal life. How do we expect them to get on the right track? How could it be any other way? I mean, MIley Cyrus is just inevitable if this is what passes for leadership. We're going to talk to a reporter with Porn News about this story, and maybe while we have her on the line, about the shutdown of the porn industry right now in Southern California because of the AIDS case, the HIV case to be more precise. AIDS is what happens to some people who have HIV, but not to everybody. So we'll talk about that coming up. First, though, Rob Archer, who's been listening to every single word very intently in the other room there. What's coming up at 2 o'clock? KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. I'm Bill Carroll. It's a story about great success and great fortune, and all blows up on them because some photographs show up, stills from a video that appear to show Richard Nanula, this former Disney and Miramax executive, having sex with porn actresses. You know, when he got divorced, his kids too, this guy. When he got divorced, the court document said he was giving his wife at the time $75,000 a month to run the household. That was their household spending. The guy's big house in Malibu. He has tennis courts. He was traveling all over the world on vacations. He'd go to Cabo and Bahamas. I mean, the guy had it all. Admitted at one point in his relationship that he was spending up to $10,000 to have sex with prostitutes. But what happens to these guys? Does the movie industry attract them, or does it make them? Anyway, Monica Foster is the owner and reporter with PornNewsToday.com. Up until this story, and she broke this story. Up until this story, I did not know there was such a thing. I know, Todd, you're probably a constant subscriber, but I did not know about it. And Monica's going to talk to us about this. Like I said, she was the one who's been on top of this story from the very beginning. So we'll get her take on all this. You know what I want to ask her? I think she's ready to join me here now. If she sees the irony or the hypocrisy in this distinction between, I'm not going to go perform oral sex for someone. Oh, it's going to be videotaped. Well, then that's fine. Don't treat me like a prostitute. I find that odd justification. Monica, thanks for talking to us.